Wong, Altus Group, Vice President of Data Solutions, the leading provider of commercial real estate information in software and data. It's not just Montreal, but it's an evolution of real estate in general, especially pre-pandemic and post-pandemic. How we interact with the space has changed the type of demand of the space, how much, and how we utilize it. So with the addition of technology, has made the workplace a little bit different on the commercial side, but as well as on the residential side on how we utilize the space and how much space we need, and as well as how we prioritize the type of amenities and what we're actually willing to pay for it. That's a very good question, because over the last 5 years, we've seen a number of improvements with different types of applications and software, and making lives easier from starting from the performance to looking at the various data sets and the inputs. So more information, using it more efficiently, allowing us to make quicker decisions, right? And we're also looking at different types of alternative materials. That's the challenge for builders today, is how can we build something that is efficient, that is functional, and as well as cost effective. So those elements are playing into how we look at the process of building certain buildings and certain frames, and how quicker and faster we can get product out. And case in point is probably on the prefabrication of homes. And right now, the whole construction sector is based on weather permitting. So is it too hot? Is it raining? Is it windy? So from a prefab standpoint, you're actually building a very controlled environment, building a lot quicker and more effective use of your labor and your resources, and allowing to produce quality product a lot faster. So I think going forward, we're going to see more sort of changes on how we build things more efficiently and effectively efficiency, and hopefully from that perspective, especially on the residential side, really address some of the affordability challenges that we've been going through. Well, it's having significant impacts on how we build certain products, and the bottom line is that it's the right thing to do. The challenge with it is sometimes from a cost perspective on whether or not it's feasible to bring in for certain buildings. And certain buildings and properties is a lot easier and cost effective for certain structures and based on their age. With some of the older structures that maybe haven't been maintained well, it's a little bit more of a challenge to get those buildings and those environmental needs or guidelines to a certain level. So that helps from a government regulation standpoint, as well as from the investor standpoint. So investors are looking at environmental, or the ESG is very important from a wellness standpoint on the return of return on investment from investors standpoint. So they want a product that, one, people want to occupy, two, that have good consistent revenue flow, and as well as to maintain value and hopefully increase or have appreciation of values in the marketplace. So I think going forward with environmental, that it is a little bit challenging at times, but I think it's needed, especially with the scarce type of resources that we're trying to deal with in today's environment, as well as to making sure that it's effective return for investors. Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver have always, it's from a foreign investment standpoint, they're the major markets that foreign investors look at, just because of the population demographics and the employment growth in the marketplace and overall stability. So Montreal ranks high from an investor standpoint just because of the demographics, the diversity, and as well as the different product and real estate that you have, from multifamily to industrial to office, it involves various type of choices for investors in this marketplace, especially with, again, going back to the population and the diversity of the economy. It remains very appealing to investors. And when you look at from overall investment perspective, that real estate investment has been very consistent with the other major markets across Canada. That's a really good question. And considering that we've just gone through one of the biggest, the only pandemic I've been through, and how we've sort of evolved on how we use real estate and what the expectations are. I think it's forced us to really look at real estate in general, especially that it really hasn't changed in 100 years on how we use space. So when we look at, I think the real challenge is getting it right. It's getting it right with the right type of design. It's getting right with the type of amenities that fits not just the current demands, but the future demands of both tenants and as well as on the occupier standpoint, as well as from an investor standpoint, real estate that can hold value as well as appreciate. So I think going forward, what we need is a better partnership with government, especially municipalities, provincial and federal level, on what type of regulations are there that either impede or creates opportunity for us to be able to create better real estate or the better utilization of real estate. So I think it's more or less us sort of solving our issues with, one, coming up with innovative ideas on how we utilize space, and that could be sort of from a mixed use standpoint and how we engage in the space, how we look from a regulation standpoint on municipalities and standards and regulations that are consistent, and as well as how we address the cost issue, especially with development charges, and create or use funds or tax money more effectively to allow builders to build, but as well as build amenities and services that consumers and businesses require. So I think it's a lot of those issues with innovation and the industry itself, and as well as with government, recognizing the need to change and facilitating those change to allow for more effective, more efficient use of real estate going forward.